to the two grumpy men, C. Grooves and Bobby May in the building.
Yeah, what it do? What it do? Let's go.
All right, all right. Oh, we got a special guest on the line, the educator extraordinaire, Chynna Crawford. Give it up.
Yeah.
Hi.
How are you tonight, Miss Crawford? How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm well. How are you guys?
We're good.
Good.
So, yesterday we, there was should we call this an article? Is it a blog that was out that you put out? What is it?
It's a published article.
Okay, so published
on
article.
Medium.
Okay, on Medium. Get the app. You can get on this. So the name of the article is "Open Memo to White Educators." We coming right at y'all tonight. No holds barred. We just gonna get right into it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you wrote this article, which was very, it was truly powerful, which is a much needed conversation with our white fellow counterparts in the education system. I guess the first question I have is, what drove you to even felt like you wanted to put this out? And I mean, I guess going through what we're going through right now in this time, I'm sure that had some influence on you. So, or was this already something you wanted to put out before? Can you just let the people know?
It definitely wasn't something that I wanted to put out before. This week, with everything that's going on in society, and every teacher that I know and everybody that I know is working from home, we had like virtual meetings, because I think that like everybody, districts, corporations, everyone is just, in a rush to figure out what can they do to show allyship to Black people,
mm-hmm.
and that is no different in schools. And so in a work meeting that I was in, I just, I continue to hear conversations just with, like, colleagues that I continue to just try to figure out what can they do. And other people that I know, my friends who are also educators, we're all having the same conversation around, like, our colleagues all trying to figure out what can they do. And then the answers that they come up with don't really align to serving Black students. It's more around serving self, or making, allowing like white guilt, or appeasing to their white guilt in a sense. And so I wrote the article out of frustration. The article that you see published is not the original. I really bled on the page the first time I wrote it. It was more like attacking in a sense, but like I had to make sure I was coming from a standpoint that, I wanted them to listen and then be able to act after listening. So that's where it stems from.
Okay, because here's a paragraph that drew me in. Okay, I'm going to just read it back real quick. This what drew me in. However, I do not write this as an update on what is currently like to be Black in America. This serves as a platform in challenging white educators serving in Black communities to uphold their commitment to our students. These educators must become an ally in the work against anti-racism. It is urgent, it is crucial, it is necessary. So when I read that, I stopped right there. I just stopped. I paused, and I text Rob real quick. I said, damn. I said, yo, this right here, like, I'm going to continue. I said, she not playing right now. Like, so as I continue to read the rest of the article, I said, oh, okay. You know what? I know the frustration right there. You being a Black woman, you in the school, you already know the environment that a lot of the kids come through in the community that you serve, right? You're talking about Baltimore public schools, am I correct?
Correct.
Right. So being very familiar with, that scene in Baltimore, it's real down there, and they go through the same things that we do, in New York on the same scale. It's just less of a population, but the plight is the same. So when you have white educators coming from different areas, the attitude that they have expressed, because that's all I really knew coming up. I didn't have that many Black teachers coming up, grades K to 8. I could probably have like 5, maybe 4.
Mm-hmm.
We're not prevalent, and it's always been that way. So you figure they come to I guess the quote unquote ghetto, lower income community to do their teaching and build up their resume, and then they bounce and they go other places. But they're not coming there to really, what's the word I'm looking for? They're not trying to feel your energy. They just there to do their job and then bounce. They don't really want to be involved with the population. And I'm going to tell you something. As a teacher who was in the school when things like that was going on, you could see that. Like, you don't really care about the kids. So when I read your paragraph, it kind of took me there, and I said, okay, I need to know where she was going. Like, was you going to punch him in the face, or were you just going to grab their hand and be like, let me walk you over here to this room so you can see what I'm talking about? So when that paragraph, because since you say you cleaned it up, because it's a powerful article. If that's your cleaned up version, then that's great. I mean, look, if that's cleaned up, that's good. I mean, I like that. I'm with that. I mean, that's great. Me, I don't know. I'm a little older. I don't care. I would have probably put out the other version. It wouldn't have been published either. But so you were smart to put it out. So when you wrote that, I guess my question to you is it your frustration with your white counterparts, or do you feel like they need to be more involved in the process of actually educating since they are in the urban school?
When I wrote that, it was because I felt like there was silence, or there was a needed conversation that needed to be had with white educators. All over, what we're seeing is people giving white people books that they can read, documentaries that they can watch, and how to become allies. That's what you see all over social media. You see everyone, suggesting ideas for them. However, as a teacher, I look at things in a little bit of different perspective, and I try to listen to my students. I want to reflect my teaching to for my students, how my students feel. And so white educators take up a lot of space in black communities. And I think that it's really, I don't want to say it's sad, but it's frustrating to know that you don't know what to do, or you don't know how to be an ally from a community that you benefit off of. And it bothers me, because you stand in front of a classroom all day and you serve predominantly black children, but when it comes to, matters of their lives and their livelihood and survival and, just being treated as a decent human, you don't know what to say. You're confused. And that the only thing that you want to do is you simply want to post on social media. You want to post a black square. You want to say, I support Black lives, but you don't have any action behind the words that you're saying. And so, these white educators come into our communities through programs like, Teach for America, teaching residency programs right after college, oftentimes because teaching is the area in which we don't have, it's a high turnover rate. We don't have people who want to stay in the system for too long. It's challenging. We're underpaid. And, they take up so much space, and for you to just not even know what to do is a disservice to my children, and it's a disservice to me as a colleague. I think it's disrespectful on so many platforms, because you benefit from it in so many ways. And I agree with you with the fact that they come into our classrooms. Sometimes they only stay for a year or two. A lot of those teaching residency programs only require them to stay for a year or two, and then they can use this background now to go level up and do something different that doesn't even have anything to do with children, and they don't even recognize the impact that they have from leaving children after only staying for a year or 6 months or 2 years, and then just off and just leave the kids. It's just a conversation that needs to be had. And I remember when I wrote the article, one of my friends, she was like, she works at a predominantly white school. She's black, and she was like, girl, these white teachers, they dying to figure out what to do. They don't know what to do. And so your article just serves as something just to start conversation on ideas on what to do. Because I think that for so long, I shouldn't say for so long. As I'm watching my article, become viral and people just talking about it, it just leads me to the question, like, what has white educators been doing all this time? Like, you know what I'm saying? You've been occupying spaces all this time. You haven't even, you know what I'm saying? You don't even know what the definition of allyship is. You haven't really been fighting for our kids. You don't, you know what I'm saying? You're taking up space, you're teaching them something, but, you know what I'm saying, you're everything, all the things that you choose to not be reflective on in your life with your biases and with racism and your white privilege and your white guilt and your whiteness, all these things that you are informed of, you bring those things into the classroom and you don't even recognize it. And, that's the conversation that, they don't want to talk about it, you know what I'm saying? Well, like, the moment we talk about it, they get all sad, they want to cry, like, I don't want to hear that. Like, I don't want to do something.
All right, I got a question, though. So wow. I agree with everything you said. I agree 100%.
Absolutely.
So, you know me, I got to do it. I got to play that role.
Let's do it.
So, these white educators, yes, they come into our neighborhoods. They, like you said, through these programs, they come from all over because they want to be a part of the city life, whether it's New York, the Baltimores, Houston's, wherever it's at. And they have no understanding of what it is to be, to teach these kids, to teach black kids, because this may be their first really in contact with this type of population. So, well, as in that form, is it really their fault, or is it the programs and the people that are exploiting these programs to put them in fault? Because they looking for a job right out of high school to pay back debt, just as everybody else is. And this opportunity, by going through this program, is going to help them pad their resume, build, experience and things of that nature. So, we're going to hold them accountable, but shouldn't we also hold accountable these programs?
Right.
I agree, but then I also feel like nobody forced your hand to become a teacher. I didn't ask you. I didn't beg you.
No,
we didn't do that.
They don't. You gotta listen though. You gotta remember, they coming out of college like anybody else looking for a job. Jobs then job ain't knocking on your door. So
yeah,
this opportunity comes to them.
When I came out of college, my first thing wasn't to become a teacher. I worked in retail. I had a black professor that told me, 80% of you guys, when you graduate, you're not going to be in the field that you think you are in. You're going to be in another field to gain understanding, to gain this, that, and the third, whatever, gain experience. You won't be in the original field that you thought of. So granted, when you sign up, to teach, you're not signing up for just a check. You're signing up because you're impacting someone else's life. Like, I don't sign up to be a doctor and just, like, I don't go through any schooling and I'm an apprentice in a doctor and then I just go straight into doing surgeries. Who's going to trust that type of doctor? Mm-hmm. Like, No, we all want to get paid, but there are different ways that you can get paid too. That's not an excuse. That's not an excuse to go uproot someone's life. You know what I'm saying? We can't use that. These programs too, yes, in a sense they do glorify, what teaching is. But at the same time, they also tell you too that you're going to be teaching in a challenging area. You're going to be teaching in a challenging district. Mm-hmm. And it is not roses. And after all this time, all these teachers, all these cities and districts with turnovers and people that don't stay for long and people that give feedback and tell you what it's like, you still sign up. So you hold yourself accountable. If you're not ready or you're not prepared to uphold your commitment to children, then you should not be in the field.
And
this work is gut-wrenching work.
I agree with you. I totally agree with you. But you also have you also got to understand too. People need jobs when they're leaving, and if you're giving me a job, I'm going to take it because I got bills to pay. Yeah, and most people,
there's a
like you
consequence
said,
to everything that you make.
Yeah, no doubt. And like C said, they take these jobs. They take these jobs because they're looking to, build a resume and so forth, of course, all for black people. And they have no understanding when they get what they're really getting into. They really don't. They really don't have an understanding what they're getting into to come teach in the Bronx, Baltimore, in these places, because there's nothing they've ever witnessed or seen before. They have no idea. They don't know what it's like to be a kid that parent is on drugs, or they live in shelters and all this other shit. They have no really idea of that. They can't even relate to that shit. So, I'm not letting them off the hook, but I'm just saying you got to put everything out there. When you have this conversation, they don't know what to do. They really don't know what to do because they've never had to be questioned on what to do. So when all this is going on, they have to. They're confused. Of course they're confused because they've never been challenged to have to answer these questions. So this is why this is a much needed conversation, because people have. Like you said, when you start talking, some people get offended, some start crying, some don't know what to do, but at the end of the day, it's a conversation still must be had. Whether you feel guilt or not, it's a conversation must be had because people's lives are at stake. And the fact that most of them, when they do start teaching and they encounter black kids and don't know what, and label them and put these labels on them, special ed, behavior issues and shit like that, it's fucking their lives up. And you know what I'm saying? But it's partly their fault. But me personally, I'm gonna hold the whole system accountable. I want to hold the fucking programs that allow this to happen. I want to allow and them for taking the job, because they just took it because it's just a job, not really understanding what the fuck they're getting into. Because
here's the flip side of that. Here's a flip side.
No, I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's just a job. I'm telling you, to them, it is just a job.
Their mentality.
Their mentality is it's just a job. I need a check. My parents ain't paying for me no more, and I gotta find a job to do something. And this is the quickest way to pay bills. That's what I'm saying. That's how they look at it. That's their perspective. I'm not saying that it's just a job, because I understand working in social service that this is not a job. People's lives are at stake. You understand? I understand that full well. But they're not going to understand that. They're not. They don't come from this shit. So they're not going to understand. I think that's an excuse.
That's not fair. I mean, I get what you're saying, but I don't agree with that, because you have to do the work. You have to do the work. Like, you can't. Like, if I sign up to be a drug dealer, if I sign up to be anything, there are consequences. I have to do the work. I got to do the legwork to be there.
And how many drug dealers? When they get caught, they tell, because they don't want to do the time. They want to get paid, but they don't want to do what comes with, but to deal with the consequences. It's the same shit for them. They don't want to deal with the consequences. They just want to check. They just want to check. And the system, and it's the system's fault, because they underpay teachers, they lose quality teachers. Then you got to deal with all the fucking bureaucracy in the school system. Principals, the administrations, all that shit need to be held accountable. Everybody has to be held accountable for the fucked up educational system. That's what it is. They have to all be accountable. Teachers, yes, because they're the ones in the classroom dealing with the kids. But the people that put these teachers unprepared in these situations got to be held accountable too.
Let me tie it all together then, because both of y'all saying, what you're both saying is correct. So now let's look at these programs. Okay, they say that, all right, they do this mass recruiting. They come into urban communities, or wherever. They're always trying to recruit people. So they come in, they recruit you. I went through this process twice in the past 10 years, just to see, because I didn't think they was going to select me, but I went through it anyway. And I went for physical education the first time, and I went for a social studies teacher the second time, just to see. So here's one thing. They tell you when you come through this program, like the Teach for Americas and all of that, if you get selected, you got to do 3 years, and then they're going to put you in a loan forgiveness program. So whatever your loans were when you took out to become an educator, because most of them took education, they're going to pay those off after you do your 3 years, because that's your commitment. Then what some do, all right, let's say they get in, they don't really know what it is. They go into the fire. They do the 3 years, and let's say they like teaching. Now what they do, they go to the next level. They level up. They got 3 years in the classroom. They go to the grad level so they can go into the principal's academy. So that's why you got principals right now that's like 30. They 30 years old, and they was only in the classroom for 3 years. They're 30, and they're a principal. Now they're responsible for not 25 kids, but they're responsible for 250 kids. They don't understand them, especially if they're in our communities where the population is going to be higher. You know, in places like Baltimore, New York, Houston, maybe people don't know, but those are segregated cities, education-wise. Because in New York, I don't care where you are, like it's broken up. Your black kids go with black, and Latinos, like they all go to school together, and whites and they all go to school together. And you very rarely have a truly gentrified neighborhood where in a public school where all the kids are together. So they're leveling up. You know, like Chynna said, they leveling up on our backs. They don't know how to teach. They're not passionate. And I'm saying the majority of them. And now I'm going to just throw the dagger right at white women teachers, you know, because they're the ones that end up crying, you know, need their hands held. Oh, I didn't know, you know, like, you know the effect that you have once you're in the classroom on these kids. They look for you for guidance, period. Then once you start teaching them, you know, then the bureaucracy comes in because it's what you're teaching. If you start teaching the truth, like real history, the bureaucracy comes from the top down. Like, hey, that's not what we're doing over here. Teach to the test. Oh, you can't give them that much information. You know, so I went, like I said, I went through the process. I went to the end, got to where you do the mock demonstrations. So, you know, I don't know, I was like 40-something when I went through it. So, you know, maybe it was an age thing. They took, you know, younger. They took a 21-year-old Latin boy. They took a 27-year-old white female, no teaching experience, like never worked with kids. But that's what they do because they feel like they're going to mold them into these teachers. But the people that's in leadership, they weren't even teachers, a lot of them. So all they do is they get money to recruit all of these people that they're going to say are going to come into the system and change. And then you got all these black people, right, that's coming in. They trying to teach. They rejecting them while they going through the process. That's why you don't see no black teachers like that. You know, especially black males. Like, you rarely see a black male in the school system. I don't care what major city it's in. Like, you really gonna see us because they don't get through that process. It's done on purpose too. So now, Chynna, you in the school, you're like, yo, y'all need to get involved. I'm talking about emotionally now, because you know, white kids got problems too. Like, if I'm teaching in a mostly white school, shit, I'm on the outside looking in too. Like, I don't know what y'all go through. You know, to me, y'all growing up privileged. You know. So, I mean, my view and their view, you know, I might be the only black person they see other than what they see on TV. Like, oh, I'm not Jay-Z. I'm not Steve Harvey. You know, I'm Mr. Grooms. You know, I lived in urban America. You know, poverty level. I have degrees. You know, I'm here to teach y'all. You know, no, I'm not your friend. You're not going to call me a nigga. You know, none of that stuff. I will fuck your parents up if necessary. You know. But we just go through, like, we don't make it through the process. We just don't. That's part of the problem. So, but y'all both saying the same thing. It makes sense. If you get into this field, you should be getting in for the right reason. The right reason is 5 years from now, 10 years from now, a child should remember, oh, Miss Crawford did this. Mr. Mailer did that. Mr. Grooms was able to show me this. You know, that's what teaching is. It's about life and growth development. Like, I've had kids come to me I run into a kid 15 years later. Yo, Mr. Grooms, thanks for showing me real history or caring about me. I used to come to school. I wasn't eating. Damn. You know, I kind of figured that. I didn't know, but I showed them. You know, you give yourself. You show them, yo, I care. You know, like, you got to show them that you care. Like, it ain't just about, yo, learn this, learn that. Like, a robot could do that.
Well, that's what they want you to be, though, son. They want you to
I know they want you to be the robot.
So that's why they gotta put those people in the classrooms, because if that's part of their initiative. So they have to
keep it in. That's true. That's
they
true.
have to. I mean, they want them to go by the book. Somebody like you, when you go through a program, and I struggle with it. When you go through a program like that, and you're later on in life, in your late 30s, 40s, and shit like that, they don't want you. Because you're stuck in your ways. You have ways already. You've already committed to the way who you are. And if they can't mold you and make you who they want them to be, you're not going to listen to a 30-year-old principal or some shit like that. You're going to look at them like, man, fuck out of here.
I've been teaching, but I've been in this field.
I'm not going to do that.
I'm going to keep it 100 with you. The evaluators were like 30, 33. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. But so when my resume hits the table, I make it that far because you can't keep the resume back. So when I make it there, they just want to meet you a lot of times.
Yeah, they just want to meet you.
See, who is this dude with 25 years experience, 15 in social services and 10 in athletics, teaching all of it? I taught in 1994. And they like, yo, hold up, who is this guy? So then, you know what I'm saying? So when you get there and the
that
evaluator.
Shit was a long time ago,
that shit was a long time ago, 1994. So they wasn't even born. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about, because this was like 2015 when I went. So if you're 30 in 2015, like, shit, I mean, when were you born? 1995? No, 2005? No, 85. You were born in 85.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you were born in 85. So, I mean, you evaluating me and you looking at my resume like, damn, he been working for 25 years. I'm only 30. Yeah. So I'm listening to you. I'm trying to get a job now, right? I'm trying to get in because, you know, I'm going to bring in some more black males. Like, yo, they really hiring. Yo, come on. You ain't got no criminal record. Let's go. Like, I'm trying to bring dudes in with me. We ain't getting nowhere. Whether we got degrees. And I've seen I seen dudes older than me trying to get up in the spot. It was like, nah. They took the real energetic person who had I'm talking about very energetic, you know, took them, but they ain't going to have no control of their classroom. You're going to be working in the Bronx, dude. I'll tell you right now, your attitude in the Bronx, nah, that shit ain't going to work. You need to have command of your classroom. How you get command? Show them respect, make them respect you, and they got to know that you love them for real because kids know. They know if you give a fuck or not, and if you don't, then of course they're going to give you that shit. But here's the complex that our kids go through. A lot of them think that the white teachers are better because in the world that they're viewing, that white is supposed to be the best. Not knowing that, like Chynna said, they're struggling to teach us because here's the reality. Even though they call them special ed, no, you just don't know how to teach them. They're actually gifted. The special, and back when we were in school, Rob, the gifted and talented kids was a special ed, but on the positive end. You know what I mean? Like we didn't have the behavioral issues, so we just excelled. The ones that have behavioral issues, they put them in the basement. That don't mean they wasn't smart. They just you couldn't control them. So that's where the whole medication thing came in, and then all of a sudden here come a bunch of white teachers, and they just took over, but they don't know how to teach us because mentally we smarter than them. They don't know how to do the shit that we do. How do you teach them and keep them under control? Yo, don't ask me no stupid shit like that. Like you gotta if you care about the kid. So I understand your struggle. Chynna, I've been there. Rob's been there. But we at the age now where we like, you know what? We went back there. We tried to get in. They was like, nah. Y'all too stuck in your ways. Y'all come in here and fight the system. Like, I don't care if my principal's 35. Like, I'm 50, my principal's 35. All right, kick the real shit. I'm with you. But if it's going to be about this bubbling in holes, for the test, come on, man. What the fuck are we doing? So if you're really trying to teach, it hurts. It hurts your heart, man. And pulling them in, them aloof, they aloof. The one she's talking about, I'm talking about the young white teachers that's aloof, that's coming in, doing their 3 years and bouncing, becoming principals. You 33, 34, you're a principal, you only taught 3 years. You don't know shit about behavior of our kids.
I mean, the article I think the article just really shows the pain that a black teacher is going through, and I mean it really does. I mean, if you haven't read it, it's going to be posted. So we're gonna post it again.
It's powerful. I'm gonna keep it up because
it's a powerful thing that I think all teachers should read it, especially all teachers of color. I mean, I think white teachers should read it as well, so they can, it's all about learning. I mean, when you're a teacher, it's about you also learning yourself, and everybody should be learning all the time. I mean, I think like my man C said, the article was it's just well written.
I mean, it was just ironic that the article, when I saw the article, and then the same day, a friend of mine, her name Renee, like she has principal certification, but she's an assistant principal. Yesterday, they had a meeting in their school with virtual rather, with the white teachers and the black teachers, trying to get the white teachers on board with empathy, how to teach during this situation, what's going on with all of the protests. Like, they had a real meeting about it, and her attitude was like, you know what? We've been holding white teachers' hands for decades. So you know what?
You feel that way, Miss? Do you feel that
way? They need to come in. They need to fall on their face and learn it themselves. They need to when they leave here, they need to go in their own neighborhoods. They need the ones to be the teaching anti-racism. I'm not teaching you shit. This was the real conversation that was going on. And I'm sitting back like, wow, what the fuck? And I just read the article, and I know Renee ain't read it yet, so I'm going to send it to her because I know that they had a meeting specifically about white teachers in the black classroom. Like, that's what the meeting was about at that level. This is all administrators.
Have y'all had those meetings, Chynna? Have y'all had those kind of meetings?
No.
No.
I don't want to talk about like my school in general, but just like no.
Okay.
I just think that I agree with that. I think a lot of black educators feel that way, is that I'm not going to take my time and teach you work that you should have been doing. You should do because you're in this field.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not disagreeing that the system isn't messed up, but, maybe we have to dismantle the system from the bottom up, because trying to attack people who are at the top and not listening and funding is not where it's working. So let's start with creating allyship with people who are in the classroom with children that we serve. This job is rooted in servitude, and so you make a commitment to uphold and serve a child to help make them the best of their ability, because it's not just about you and your future and getting older, but it's really rooted in that child understanding that they're trying to make something of themselves, and it starts with your classroom. And I do agree that like it's not my responsibility to teach you how to do this work. Like it's just not. It's not my responsibility to teach you how to do this work. I have to learn. I have to grow up being black every day. My students have to grow up being black every day, and we have to learn how to operate in a society that hates us just because we're a certain color.
That's fact.
And no one is teaching me how to be black. No one is giving me courses on what I have to do, even though the system is fucked up, even though the system is the way that it is. You know what I'm saying? No one is doing that for me. So why do I have to hold your hand and do that for you? When there's so many books, so many resources, so many documentaries, so many stories being told, that you should want to do the work because you're working with children, because it's a child. There is, there's a special place in your heart to even allow you to even want to work with children. Like, to even have the patience and the time to deal with another person's child, to pour into another person's child. And you were practically raising these children. I don't care what anybody says. I raised children for 180 days.
That's true.
180 school days. Right. They spend as much time with me as they spend with their parents.
Absolutely.
And so I can't, if you are making this commitment, it is more than a check. I can't, I'm not disagreeing that the system is not messed up. I'm just agreeing that if you are looking for a check, you come to realize, like, even people who think that this job is just a check, they come to realize that you're working really hard for this check. And they realize it's not even, they don't know if it's even worth it at the end. some of them end up leaving and going to go work in retail because it's just like, I can't do it. Yep. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, these are educators that are here, and I'm not even referring to those. I'm just referring to the people who are in school systems for a while, whatever, working with kids who want to know what to do. This is why the memo is written for you, because you have to understand what your whiteness is, what white guilt is, what white privilege is, and you have to understand how those implicit biases show up in your classroom. And until you do the work, they will always show up in your classroom. They will show up in your lessons. They will show up in the way you interact with children, and they will impact this child for the rest of their lives. And that is not fair to children.
When are you gonna write another one? Because because I'm looking at it right now, right? Cause,
I'm looking at it too.
Because I was reading, I read it, and I'm listening, like the bullet points, like just all right. I don't even want to date myself saying like as a 5%er, I'm going. When you said knowledge, right? I said, knowledge. What do I need to know? And you was like, as teachers, we are students of life. I was like, damn, okay. She went in, bang, bang the first sentence. I said, okay, then I got to work. What do I need to do? What do I need to do to support our students? Work and wisdom go together for me, because that's how you gain wisdom, is through the work, like what you actually do, trial and error. And then you bullet pointed the work. You said the integrity, the implement, and involvement. So now,
bang, bang.
Like, so yes, you should have integrity, right? You figure like, damn, I'm teaching. Like, once you realize what I'm doing, right? Because you have to ask yourself that question: what do I need to know? So that's your knowledge. Now you got to do the work. Have integrity about your work, implement it, and be involved in the development of the student. So I'm going like, damn, okay. And then the end, understanding, is listening. You got to listen first in order to comprehend and understand, and then you just repeat the cycle. You got to keep doing it for each kid. Every kid needs that, and it requires a lot of energy. So when I was reading, I said, damn, you gave a whole lecture. Like, that was a whole lecture, a whole big picture on a small canvas, and the whole, everything is covered. And now you're looking at everything in your face. Like, you can't, in a big picture, you could hide some things in the background. Oh, I never noticed that. No, with the way this is written, like, you notice everything that's in there. What are you going to do? Are you going to be the teacher that you signed up to be, or you got to keep it moving? Because people like yourself, like, you're going to be the people that dismantle the system. I mean, that's just the reality. We can help from the background. We can do what we can do. But they don't want to hear from us. First of all, we older, set in our ways. We too radical. They tired of our asses. All right? They don't want us in there. What they didn't expect is that the people that came behind us was going to be more passionate, more involved, and really understand the link between education and how it's supposed to set you for life. To steer you're trying to steer kids away from the school to prison pipeline, and they trying to keep it open. You busting holes in the pipeline, and then it's at this point, it's like, where do you want to go? Do you want to stay? Because a teacher going up top, leveling up, becoming an administrator, that's a whole different ball game. It's the same thing, but if you keep your passion, whoever is in your district, y'all could be the model for how the rest of the district should be, because that right there was required reading. And I'm definitely going to pass that around, because I know plenty of educators.
Exactly.
The irony is that they had, one of them that I know had that conversation yesterday with administrators. That was the conversation they had.
But that's the funny thing, though, right? When you live, like, because you guys are in the city and I'm in the suburban area, those conversations aren't being had. Like, those conversations, and those same black kids are looking at the same thing. They're not in the city environment, but they're also being mistreated in their schools as well by same white educators. So, I mean, it's all across the board with them. They just have no understanding for black children. They have that, and they have no empathy for black children. And I think that statement, and as I look at this, that says sums it up true, is that true allyship is rooted in constant self-reflection and self-awareness that promotes self-development. Like, I mean,
look in the mirror.
Can you ding that shit any more than that? Ding, ding, ding. Like,
right.
Like,
that's telling you look in the mirror at yourself.
Like,
you know,
they're
reminded me of a Michael Jackson verse where they like look in the mirror and find yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't, you can't teach us.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, when you read this, if you were educated and you read this, whether you black or white, and you have to look at this and say, damn. I mean, I got a lot. I got to do better. I got to do better. I got to do a lot better. You know what I mean? Like,
sound like you got public speaking in your future, Chynna. You know, because
I don't think so.
Seriously.
But I
mean, you can't shy away from it now. You hear it.
It's here. Like when you write that. You know what it reminded me? You remember the scene in that, what movie was that? With Tom Cruise is in it. They was like, show me the money. I forgot the name of that movie, man. With Cuba Gooding, he wrote this memo that the industry, like, it's like an open secret. Jerry Maguire. Like, he wrote this memo, and it's like, it's the real stuff, but nobody wants to do it because it requires too much of giving and changing themselves because people are stuck in their ways. And, there are the people that slide through, they try to get a check. And then they realize, like, oh, I really got to take this serious. So some people do change, and they become better teachers. And then some people say, I can't do it no more, and they bounce.
There you go.
So, I mean, it's real. Education and social services, they go hand in hand. That's why, I've been on both sides. I said, damn, I know what the kids deal with. But when you try to get in, black men in particular, when we try to get into the system, we run into a lot of roadblocks. But I'm glad that a lot of black women are actually, getting into the system and becoming leaders. It helps, but I always get that question, how come the black males can't get up in the system? Now, I just tell them the truth because they don't want us there. You can't have us
I don't know. I agree and I disagree.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, because maybe in my own community, because, black men are needed. They want black men in our schools.
They always say
that. I think that we have this collective belief that we have to go through a particular program to get into it. But it took me, we have to go through a particular program to get it. But it took me, being rejected out of a program and getting into it outside of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just feel like, more conversation needs to be had on the fact that you don't have to go through a program to validate your value in the education system. And I think that that's the problem that we also have too. We rely on these programs, we rely on these certification tests to validate our value and where we're needed in education, and that's just not it. You know what I'm saying? Like, my children, I have had students always ask me, why, my students tell me, why are all the black teachers who are in the building, black male teachers in the building gay, Ms. Crawford? They'll ask that question. And these are coming from children, not to say that that's a problem, but these are real authentic questions that I can't even answer. I can't answer that. Not to say your sexuality has anything to do with what a child feels, but the fact of the matter, these are real questions that kids want to know. Because they want to see everyone. They want to see a diverse group of black people in there. It shouldn't just be one. Why, they ask me, why do we always have so many black women teachers, Ms. Crawford? Why are there not enough black male teachers?
Mm-hmm.
No, they ask those questions. They want people to be there, and I just think that we have to figure out ways to enter into a system, that does try to keep us out, but also to recognize that we don't have to go through programs to get into it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up.
That sounds like a solution to me. Very, very well written. You just explained it, even more in depth and gave some solutions. Like I said, I see a lot coming from this. I do. So if that's where you right now, that's your passion, that teaching and activism, they do go hand in hand, because it is a war in education. And that's a fact. Like, it's been going on for a minute. We just survived it. That's all. We survived. And whatever you need, we'll be here, because It's necessary. Like, it's a real war. Like right now, the kids they not. I'm just going because I got 3 kids in school right now, and they just some of the teachers go through the motions, and then once they get past 3rd grade, and it's all about that test, it's a wrap. You know, it's that's all they care about. They do need to break the system down. They do. We need people that actually give a damn. So keep pushing. We with you. There's others out there just like you. Y'all the ones that got to push through. And those is real questions that the kids is asking. Why aren't there more black males in the school? Then on top of that, the ones that are here, so why all of the teachers are gay? You know, that are black and are male in there. Like, that's not the only representation of us, but that's how, you know, you're talking about the impressionable children that's in there. They need to see a mixture of what they do. Like, we do have black male gays, but everybody that's black male isn't gay. In the teaching, like, and we all, I'm not going to be singing to you, hey, you know, yeah, let's do it this way. I'm going to be like, yo, let's go, let's get some work done here. Like, the aggression is different. Like, I got a deep voice. I don't know.
The aggression is rooted in accountability.
That's it, accountability.
The aggression is just rooted in accountability. I think that, you know, they tie you being aggressive with just you holding somebody accountable. You know, I guess that I'm mean all the time, but it's just that I have high expectations of you because the world doesn't. So that's
but
okay.
It's accepted from a woman teacher. Like all the black women teachers that I have, like that I had in school, because I had like 4 of them. They were no nonsense. They had expectations, and if you didn't meet the expectation, because once they get through all of your clown stuff that you do as a student, they was on my ass. They was like, no, you're going to do some work. I expect you to do this. And they'll let me know. And, you know, they'll tell me. Then if they ain't like that, they go to moms and pops. And after that, you know, it's either straighten up or get that ass whipped. So I straightened up, you know, but became the best student I could be at that level, which was in elementary school. Now, once we got to middle school, that was different. You know, I was about, you know, after you leave school, you got to fight to make sure you could wear your sneakers home and shit. So, fuck school. When I got to middle school. But elementary, yeah, I was a very good student. You know, that's the truth. But, I mean, Rob, what you got? Bro.
I'm just glad. Thank you for coming on, making time to come on the show and talk about your article. You know, because I think, like I said, I think it's a conversation that that's needed. I think that it's an article that everybody needs to post, to read, and you know, once again, man, it's just a great article. I think it was great. Like I told her when I read it, it brought tears to my eyes. I was like, damn. You know, because I went to private school my whole life pretty much. So I had one black teacher. That was like late in high school. So, you know, I mean, you don't get that type of, you know, that care, you know. And so it's important. It's like real important. And as a person who's worked with kids with behaviors or who's been labeled with behaviors, and, you know, I know a lot of these teachers put false labels on them because they can't deal with them, and that bothers me because you're knocking a kid down that really you didn't take a chance to, you didn't take the time to understand them, and a lot of times they scared. You know, it's a lot of shit. You know, it's a lot of shit in the game. So, you know, it's a joy to read things like this, but it's also like we gotta put everything in a perspective and find out where we can start to build the action and follow through with these things and start knocking the blocks down one by one. You know, whether it's by having a conversation, calling out our white educators, calling out the system, and letting them know that as black people that, you know, we tired of this shit. This shit has got to end. Like we dealt with a lot of shit. We deal with the redlining, we deal with the lack of education, the bad books. We deal with a lot of shit, and our kids still make it through this shit and become successful. And just imagine if we had the same tools that everybody had in better neighborhoods and things like that, what would we be then? And I think that, you know, I keep always, you know, there's so many quotables in in this article that I love. I'm you know, I think the last sentence too was just like dynamite. Like, I read somewhere that cops were once students too. Imagine who our students will become once we do the work. I mean, damn, that just, you know, that right there, that hurt, that pulled at my heart, and I just like, I mean, this shit is powerful, bro. You know, we get on here every day. I mean, we get on here once a week. We do this, and we passing on knowledge to a lot of people. And you know, when we run into when we get the chance to speak to people who also is applying that knowledge, I mean, it's just powerful shit we putting out here for our people. And once again, I mean, great article, Chynna. I don't know how many of ways.
Thank you.
I mean, you deserve your flowers.
And I just shared it. I shared it with my principal friend, you know, sister principal.
Yeah, I'm sharing that.
I just shared. I tagged her like, you must read this. Being that I read her IG post earlier, she gonna read it. She'll get back to me. You know, she is the one, Rob, that wants to, you know, start the charter school. Yeah. And, you know, she's been gathering a lot of information, and we just, I don't know, once people start working and, you know, you get both feet in the mud, you know, it's hard to come out and go and do your own thing, you know. But she assures me that that's still a plan. So, I mean, we are still young technically. You know what I mean? In this field, we're middle age for real, because, you know, we're not young, but we definitely not old. I mean, that's how they look at us, you know. But, you know, we also hardhead because we know real history. So, you know, they don't really want to fuck with us. Like, they just don't. But this is what we're here for.
This article right now has 82 claps. We need to get this to like 1,000.
Right.
We need this in more hands. So, you know, we're gonna do our part, and we're gonna post it everywhere we at, and pass it on to educators, to my principal friends and teacher friends, and we're gonna let them read, and we want them to take on this fight too. We want you know, it's all hands on deck right now. Everybody's hands is on deck. We at a critical stage in this society, and right now everybody's is gonna be held accountable. And, you know, whether you protesting, marching, whatever you doing, as long as you contributing to the betterment of our people in society, that's what we want, you know. That's what we want, really. That's what we trying. We just want equality, and, you know, just like what they give to the mother people. So, you know, we ain't gonna keep you no longer, Miss Crawford. We appreciate you for hanging out with us night owls. And sharing your experience.
You're welcome back anytime. You know,
anytime. I've been begging her to come on the show to talk her ish. And, you know what I mean?
I don't got nothing to talk.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I doubt that. You had a lot
to say. You got a lot to say.
And you got more.
You got more.
We'll ease you in. I mean, you know.
You know, we trying. I just want her to break, you know, get a taste of it. Hopefully you come back, right, you know, and, you know, we love to have you on, because we big on education. We want to help the youth. We want to make sure those in urban areas has the things, or getting the things they need. We want to, you know, Grumpy Men, we for everybody. We everywhere. We want to help we want to be a part of whatever the fight is. We want to be there. And, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, we definitely are allies for your cause, and anything you need, you know what I'm saying, Grumpy Men, we be more sponsor whatever you trying to do, and show the love to the youth, you know what I mean? So definitely, you know, once again.
I appreciate it. Appreciate it very much. An open member to white educators is up on Medium. I'm just trying to hold white educators accountable, because being a teacher is like being a heart surgeon. You're working into the core of what we do. And that's, you know what I'm saying, we try and change lives. And so let's start a conversation. Let's do some work.
No doubt. Excellent work, girl.
All right. Thank you guys for having me so much. I appreciate it.
We appreciate you. Thank
you. Yes, we appreciate you, yes.
Now go ahead and go get some sleep.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Good night.
Good night.
Oh man, yo,
Yeah.
hey, Chynna Crawford, ladies and gentlemen, educator, passionate, yo, kept it all the way 100,
All the way 100.
all the way up for real. Like
Yeah.
you know, it's a conversation that you know what I like about it though. In reality, is from the younger part of our generation. Like they are people like her are not gonna let this flame go out. Because we got to our stage and we like, yo, we need to reach back and get the youth and show them the way. We can teach them, but they got to do the work because we can't teach and do the work at our age the way that it needs to be done. Like the boots on the ground. Go ahead, y'all mobilize that. We could lay down the blueprint, show you how it's done, tell you what not to do because we know what doesn't work and we know what does. You know what I mean? But they can do it, and we can be the people that they come to. Like, all right, well, what's next? What do we do in this? It's because there are natural born leaders out here. And if you're passionate and you have your head together, you can galvanize people, and then we can put the shield around you and make sure that you can continue to walk and do your job. What you were put here to do. The role that you play. Teaching and activism is real because once you get inside and you see that, they really trying to stifle our kids, you damn right you're going to stand up and do something about it. And then you got your counterparts who she, aiming the gun at like, what y'all going to do? Y'all going to join this fight? The fight is trying to teach them. It ain't what you think that they are. Forget all of that. You a teacher. You with us or you with them out there? Because, education... She's right. The parallel between, educating and enhancing somebody's mind, it is the same as being a doctor and trying to be a surgeon. You're trying to save a life over here. Over here, we trying to maintain their lives to keep it from breaking down. We gotta build them up. We ain't gotta tear them down. We gotta keep them maintained because a teacher is in the life of a student just as much as a parent is. I can tell you that right now. From 8 to 3, that's a lot of damn hours, okay? If you really do the math, and then when you get home, how long is a kid really up? Kid is up maybe what? From when you're home. 6 to 9? You with your kid like 3 hours. Teachers with your kid like 7. So, the numbers, unless you got a hard 3 hours where you actually learning something from your parents, because that's how some of us is built. We always teaching. We gotta lighten up sometimes, because I know I've had to scale it back. Like, all right, you ain't ready for Marcus Garvey yet. You know what I mean? But you could learn this. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I don't want to burn them out either. Especially when they in their teenage years, from 10 to 18. They already feel trapped because they feel like they have to go to school. There is no if, and, or but. Like they feel there's an obligation there that they have to fulfill. So I know I felt that burnout. I was about 16. I was like, damn, I got 2 more years of this shit. And then I knew that I had to go to college. You know what I mean? Like there was no if, ands, or buts. Like getting a job, like, okay, yeah, I could get a job, but no, your ass is going to college. And I knew that. So it wasn't like, so when I'm 16, going into 11th grade, like I'm counting like, damn, I got 6 more years of this shit. But, I grew, I evolved, you meet people, y'all, you hold each other up, you know what I'm saying? Keep us, like she said, accountable. And that's one word in our community that it's lacking. And, I remember the brother was on here, the author, Saeed Keen, Cool Tom, said the same thing. Our people lack accountability. Not that they don't know what it is. They like, some people are just comfortable and they say, fuck it. They don't want to do it. But spinning the wheels, you're moving into the protesting. What's up, man? What's going on, man?
son, it's a lot of shit. It's like this shit is like it's getting it's you know, I mean, like I said, you see the protests. I mean, some people are mad that people are just marching and protesting. Some, you know, and you know, it's just you don't know what's authentic from what's really not authentic. You know what I mean? Last week we spoke on, you know, a lot of infiltration into the protest. Now that's pretty much calmed down. It's not been a lot of that since they put military on the street and heavy police now on the streets and so forth. And you know, so now it's back to it's peaceful and no tearing up of properties and things like that. Because that's like, you know, people was losing their mind over that.
Right.
So now it's back to just protesting, and you know, they're protesting in front of the White House. They're protesting everywhere, and I get it. You know, you listen. Whatever you choose to do, whatever you feel that's your contribution to this fight, please do it. That's whatever, you know. Everything is needed in this fight, because you know it's not going to be one approach that wins the fight. It's going to take many styles to win this fight. You understand? So it's going to take a lot. It's going to take the protesters. It's going to take the people. It's going to take people like Chynna who write the articles and make it go out there and attacking issues. It's going to be like people like us who do podcasts, who's out there posing those hard questions and talking true facts about what's really going on, and not the gaming shit that we see on TV. So everybody's playing their role. You know, whether you posting on social media, whatever you do, and you're trying to bring awareness to it and it's authentic from your heart, then do that, please. Then do that, because what we're going up right now, we're going into uncharted waters with this fight. And if we're going to continue this fight, then we need to have, not only do we need not only do we need to be holding, you know, our white allies or white people accountable, or you know, pulling them, you know, letting them know about their privilege and things like that. We as black people need to have an agenda. We need to start thinking of an agenda. We need to have an agenda. We need to start, like you said, accountability. That's the word for the night. Accountability. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's time for us to be accountable. Like, you know, every day you read, and you keep hearing celebrities. Well, we gotta go out, and you know, we gotta go out and vote for Joe Biden because we can't have Trump. We can't have another this of Trump. I mean, at this point, neither one of these motherfuckers is our ally. Neither one of these dudes is our allies. Neither one of them is to the benefit of black people. People, you know what I mean? So
right.
At this point, so I was posed on a question where, you know, do black people just say, you know, fuck it, don't vote? Like, fuck it. It's like, hold all our shit back, hold our money back economically, and hold our votes back at this point. Like, what is voting?
There you go. I'm glad you brought that up, because
what does it really do for us?
Here's where we fail as a people, because we putting all of our chips in on the voting, when in reality there's multiple layers to this shit. Voting is one aspect, okay? Now, when you vote, prior to voting, okay, you have to have a plan in place to say, you know what, we're going to spend our money in a certain way. Like when you see the boycott, when we have to go backwards now, because the Montgomery bus boycott was very successful, but it lasted a year. People can't do shit for a day. Barely.
No, they can't.
That shit lasted for a year. So, you know, they boycotted. They pulled their money and said, "Yo, we're not spending it on this bus company. We're gonna carpool, and we're gonna pull all of our money out." So now, when they pulled their money out, what they created was leverage, because now you bankrupting the system that was trying to live off of your back, because you're the one that's going to work. So they trying to eat off of you, and now you pull your money, they can't eat off of you, right? So now You have that in play. Now, so what emerges out of that are your frontline leaders, the people who are going to be in charge of speaking to the lawmakers, the policy makers, the congressmen, if they're not going to run themselves. Because you need policy change. So, see, voting is one thing. So you need voting, you need policy change, you need an economic plan to say we're not going to spend on white establishments. Now, I've said all that to say that back then, the Montgomery bus boycott, although successful because they were able to pull their money out and make a dent and show the white shirt. No, that's what I'm saying. They made a dent.
They went bankrupt.
That's what I'm saying. They bankrupted the white bus company. They did. They bankrupted them. But in the meantime, they was also, you had Martin Luther King and the SNCC movement and that whole group. They were going to law, to the lawmen to get policies changed. They was having that fight. The only thing that they didn't do when they pulled their money out and started pooling it and got away and they bankrupted the white company, they could have just rocked with the black bus company that was already in effect. They could have made them, because that you got to spend your money. Black people need to spend their money with black businesses. Yeah, that doesn't mean that you don't, if you don't want to rock with it's nothing against, I'm talking about black people. I'm not talking about Indian, Asian. I'm not talking about people of color. I'm talking about black people. You got to spend your money there. Build up an economic base, okay? Then you need people. The same way that we raise up kids to go become athletes and, lawyers and things of that, we need congressmen. People that make laws. Like, we need to start king-making. We have to do that. That's what we haven't. We're missing all the pieces. So here we go. Oh, Trump is here. Yeah, we know he got selected. The Electoral College selected him. They select every president. And as quiet as it's kept, because we keep saying the same shit. You vote indirectly. You place your vote to the elector, and the elector is the one who places their vote. They're supposed to vote with you morally, but they don't have to. Your elector might be a piece of shit, for your district. Mm-hmm. He or she might be a piece of shit. Like, they want me to vote such and such, I'm going to vote over here. They don't have to agree with you. They just don't. So we miss the boat every single time for the past 50 years. We've been missing the boat. Because we threw our chips all in on just voting, when in reality, you need the other pieces. You need the protests. You need the lobbyists. You need the lawmaker. You need to know. You got to have your congressman. You need those people to go and fight on your behalf. Like, write up a bill. Get it passed. Because you're talking about equality. Protesting in the street, that's only just to make the noise so people could pay attention to the shit. Then you will have your lobbyists, and then you have your congressman like, the things need to change. You don't want to keep seeing these uprisings. There was multiple protests in different states.
That's the thing, though.
The National Guard can't handle all of that. There are hundreds of millions of people here. How many National Guard and military you think we got all together? 1 million? That sounds like a lot. There's a couple of 100 million people here. They can't guard everybody.
I agree with that. They can't guard everybody. But I'm going back to the point where with the protests and reaching out to these politicians.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can't really affect what goes on as the president because that's federal. I mean, like you said, he's selected, not elected. You know what I'm saying?
Big difference. Big difference
right there, right?
Big difference.
So, but the people that's in control of your district, you affect them because those are the people you put in office.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're going to be you need to be protesting against them. Once again,
say it again. Say it again.
You need to let them know and hold them accountable. Like, look, your shit is on the line. You councilmen, you congressmen,
all day.
You senators, you judges, you sheriffs, all you motherfuckers, mayors, everybody, governor, all y'all, all these people need to be put on notice that your shit is on the line when it comes next for you to be voted. And we gonna remember all of you motherfuckers then. Yeah, you can talk about that Trump Biden shit, but once again, you know, that shit we don't, you know, I'm just getting tired of hearing that, yo, black people don't vote. Black people vote. They shit don't matter. Like, you keep saying that, oh, I'm getting tired of hearing y'all say this shit. I'm just like,
it's misinformation. It's misinformation.
That people didn't vote, and Hillary won the popular vote. The people's vote voted for her.
Over 2 million.
So what that says to me is, you people who constantly keep running with that narrative that black people don't vote, that's why we lost, 2 million people in Detroit didn't vote, or 2 million. Shut the fuck up, because she won by 3 million votes.
That's right.
So
without those people who didn't vote. The one piece, we voted at a 70% clip, black people. The national average was 60. We exceeded what everybody did. We went out and voted. This is a wake-up call.
Man, stop saying, you gotta stop saying that shit. They gotta stop saying it, because that shit is not true. People was out there voting. People did not want this man as president. They came out and voted. She won. She won the popular vote. And guess what? She still didn't win, because the electoral said no. That's who they went with, who they was either paid to go with, or who they, who knows? We don't, you know what I mean? Because if the people, so that goes to show you the people vote in the federal for the presidency don't mean shit. Don't mean shit. It's about the people that's in your direct contact, in your area. Your councilman. Oh yeah, we prepared a bill, and we think, we need this done in our area. We need certain things, and police brutality. There's a lot of things that people don't know because we don't know the law.
There you go.
We don't know the law. Black people don't know the law. Like, you gotta know the law. Last couple of weeks I've been telling black people, not about emotions, it's about business.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta also know the law. You gotta know the law. You gotta know the law. You gotta know your rights. You gotta understand what shit means. Like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta understand what's going on. You gotta understand why police are not being charged. You gotta understand why. You gotta understand what the laws in these amendments and these constitution and all that shit.
Exactly.
They don't include you. So you're not looked at as people. You're looked at as property. So as long as you're looked at as property, nobody gives a fuck if you get killed. They only care when you start uprising and tearing shit up and making your voice known. But when you start tearing and making your voice known shit, you need to start pointing the fingers at these councilmen, these governors, these mayors, because these mayors hire police chiefs. He's the one that hired the police chief. You put him there, we voting your ass out, and that person getting fired. It's like that.
That's how it goes.
That's your power. That's where your power is. Your power is not sitting there talking about, we got to vote to get Trump up. Your vote for Trump and voting for Biden don't mean shit. You can write your name in that motherfucker for president, for all I care, because it ain't going to matter. It's already going to be decided because people are getting paid off. If you're not going to be electoral or some shit, controlling that shit, then, you know what I'm saying?
Who do you think the Electoral College is made up of? It's made up of senators, congressmen, that's who make it up. Like, so you vote in the people who actually place the vote for the president. So you need to hold people accountable at our level.
Exactly.
That's how you do it. But then you also have to you need to protest. You need to pull your money out, pull it out the system. You need to bankrupt the system just like they did in the 60s. That's what they did. They bankrupted the system, except we take it one step further. Now, all right, we pull the money from over here, we put it over here. We spend $2 trillion.
You
know how much money that is?
Son, you got to think like this, right? They spent $2 trillion in giving out stimulus money and all this other shit in loans, right?
Yeah.
Where you think they counting on getting that money back from?
Us.
Exactly. Go out there and go spend that money. It's business. It's business, son. It's all business. This is, you know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, we say it every week. It's a corporation. This shit is business. Why you think people is like, oh, we going to boycott Wendy's and we going to boycott Taco Bell and we going to boycott Home Depot and all these people that's throwing money at Trump? You know, do you think they like this motherfucker? No. They don't like him. They don't like him, but they doing business. They doing fucking business for, you know what I'm saying? Wendy's is doing business. They want them tax breaks that they're getting for the rich. Because they rich. Yep. They got money. They got shit. So their vote is considered who's going to affect their business. They're not voting out of emotion and none of that shit. They voting out of business sense. Like, yo, we need him in. We're going to get this break. We can write all this shit off, and we're going to get money. We're going to get our money back. We ain't even going to, all that shit we paying out, we're going to write all that shit off. We ain't even going to pay no taxes. We're going to get our money. That's why he's there, son. Mm-hmm. That's why he's there. He's there for the businessman, because that's what he's supposed to be. Real estate developer, businessman. That's what he is. So right. If you're playing the game, right? Because this is what this shit is, a game. So if you're playing the fucking game, then the game is you need to be a business. You need to be a fucking business. Like, go get your LLC, go get incorporated, go be a business. Go out there and create a business. Do your shit as a business. Get those same tax breaks. You own a house, have a business in your home. Write it off. Write your property off. It's out there. The tax laws is free. It's on Google. Google the shit.
No doubt.
But, once again, that's not what black people, they want to believe that, oh, we got to go line up and vote and we got to get them out. Son, everybody that comes in that office, they have people that put them there. When Obama was there, it was for the bankers. When Bush was there, it was for the oil people. When Clinton was there, it was for the fucking corporations. So, go down the line. It shows you who they there for, who put them there, who's helping them. So stop that shit. Stop with the narrative.
Obama was the bankers.
Exactly. That's who. Yeah. You know who? You bailing us out? You gonna give us money? Yeah, we gonna bail you out. Oh yeah, we gonna get you in there. We gonna throw all the money behind these electorals and make sure this shit fly through. You know what I'm saying? He won on a landslide. You know what I'm saying?
He did.
He won on a landslide the first time.
He went up against McCain. McCain didn't have a shot in hell.
That's what I'm saying, because he wasn't affluent. McCain was a soldier.
Yep.
This dude is a speaker, is a polished speaker, and he's so articulate. You know, this is who we need out there. We're gonna make him the first black president. We got it. We got him.
Not knowing
also
not knowing his whole history. You know
exactly,
what I mean?
Like his bloodline and all that other shit.
Bloodline and shit. Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense for them. Yeah, we can do that. But that's what people, people just, black people especially, like, you can't keep attacking this front and banging your head on the wall. You got to start thinking on other ways to get around the wall now. Like, you got to think of ways, obviously, like, you got to, more brothers, sisters need to step up. Okay, you a lawyer, you trying to level up. You need to start trying to run for that judge seat. You need people behind you. You need to get the people behind you. Like, I want to run for this judge seat. I want to be this and this. That's what you got to do.
That's facts. That's the game.
That's the game. That's how people get shit changed in their neighborhood. That's how the Italians did it. That's how the Irish did it. That's how the Jews do it. That's how, you know what I mean? They all do it. So black people are the only ones, they don't do it. And when black people do it, they put the worst fucking black people in this position. Like, Like you pick, you get a you put a brother or sister in it. They all of a sudden they do whatever. They forget where they forget the people that put them there. So you got to remind them by kicking them out.
Yep.
Don't
and replacing them with the next person.
With the next person.
There's a person waiting that wants to do the right thing. That
wants to do it. So you got to remove these people. You got to let them know they on borrowed time. Like, yo, you got 4 years to show us something. If that 4 years you don't show us nothing, we getting your ass out of here. That's the bottom line. We don't have no loyalty to you. We ain't giving you no, I'm going to need another term. Nah, you don't need no another term. You ain't showed us you can do shit now. We going to get rid of your ass. That's when you showing your power. Like, nah, we ain't going to do that. Like, you ain't going to sign no fucking deals to have all these people come in here and regentrify shit and put up all these stores and run us out of here. Meanwhile, you getting paid under the table with the fucking with the kickback money. Fuck that.
Right.
Fuck that. Before we do that, we gonna get you out of here. Nobody, you ain't winning shit. Cause we showing up to make sure we vote you out. Like that's how it has to be. That's how it has to be. We gotta start grooming politicians. We gotta start grooming judges. We gotta start grooming shit for us. Like everybody else is doing it, and we still ain't doing it. We ain't caught on yet. We still talking about the church and voting for presidents. Come on, man. We fucked up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We fucked up, bruh.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Everything, baby, they give us the shit in the barrel. We got to make it out of the shit in the barrel to be great. We got to put on extra shit to get the job. Because we competing against everybody for that position.
Yep.
Then we got to stand out and show our work is excellent all the time. When do you get tired of that shit? Like, they working you to death and don't give a fuck. If you die tomorrow, your job posted 2 days.
Yep.
New position open. Come on, we gotta start figuring out, like, yo, this shit is a business, man. We gotta start opening up business, hiring our own, and doing shit. People are just too lazy, and you know what I'm saying? And I don't care if, black people, you get mad or not. You gotta stop being so fucking lazy and taking advantage of your people with shit. Like, if you providing a service, give them that same 100% you're gonna get that white customer. Don't half-ass me and don't give me nothing. But meanwhile, you out there giving your white customers and all them, professional, better treatment and being professional and treating me like some shit. Nah.
Right.
Yep, it's my money. This is my money. If I'm spending money with you, then I'm gonna need you to be that same professional person all the time with everybody you deal with. It's as simple as that, man.
That's facts.
Like, we gotta clean up our shit. We gotta clean up our shit. You know what I'm saying? And we always talk about this one too. Oh yeah, while we over here talking about this and this, police brutality. When we gonna start talking about black on black crime? Yo, once again, come on, man. You like we gotta stop with that shit.
It's like a broken record. It's gonna skip and it's gonna come back. Here's the reality. I think over the last 2 months, I think there are some people that have actually come to terms with the fact that proximity crime and the media portrayal of black on black, is different. They don't say white on white, Asian on Asian. So remember, black people in this world are hated worldwide.
Worldwide.
They're taught to be hated. So now, I'm talking about, it don't matter. Like, when you enter this corporation over here, the people that do come from other places, they are taught to hate black people. In general, I'm talking about systemically. I ain't talking about the sprinkles of people. I've been thinking about this too. When I've been looking at these protests, I spoke to my mother earlier, on the block that we lived on. They have it blocked off now in terms of, like, you can only go down certain streets. Like, you can't drive through that block like that. So anyway, there's a protest, because they're protesting right now. There's a bunch of white people out there. you know, and it was after curfew. So, you know, the cops were out there, you know, on foot. They weren't locking up anybody because it was that many white people, you know, so they won't get locked up. But, you know, they're out there and they're like, Black Lives Matter. You know, like there are white people that are saying Black Lives Matter. So now I'm saying, yo, there's an apology tour going on in sports. You know, you got motherfuckers apologizing. Oh, we didn't know. We're sorry. You know, our ancestors did this and did that. And I'm going, something bigger is going on here. Why? I mean, the whole world is apologizing, saying Black Lives Matter, knowing that my life already mattered prior to you feeling that way. So fuck your chant. I don't need you to tell me that Black Lives Matter. Like, I don't need that shit. But if that's your way of apologizing, sorry, not sorry. I don't want it. Fuck that shit.
That's like in D.C., they wrote Black Lives Matter down the street.
Yeah, the mayor authorized the truck to, you know, paint that shit. Okay, good. Okay, fine. Black Lives Matter. That's all well and done.
I had to reach out to my peoples in D.C. and ask them how they felt about it. After I seen somebody I seen a post. This young lady, she was, you know, she was going.
I saw the mayor. The mayor's a black woman.
Yeah. But it wasn't from her. It was another lady that was saying that she was from D.C. So I reached out, and I wanted to get the temperature of what they felt out there, and you know, the vibe that they told me was, yeah, that shit was cute, but we need policies. That's it. We need more shit than that. We don't need that. That brings us nothing. Writing Black Lives Matter up and down the street. We need policies. We need shit in place. We need that shit. That's what we looking for. We're not looking for that shit. We don't care about that. That means nothing to us. Like at this point, because right now we need people to be held accountable for the shit that they doing, and we need policies to protect our people. Bottom line.
Absolutely. That's what's needed. Period. We need. Period. That's what the boycotts did back in the days. They led to policy change. Now, as I was talking to my mom, you know, and I'm going like, all right. I said, Mom, hear me out. You know what I mean? Like we're talking about history and law right now, because you know history tends to repeat itself. So I just broke down the whole. I said the word black. You know what I mean? Like where did that come from, right? So I go, you know, black means pale, right? Without color, right? I said, maybe this is some twisted shit going on. That the shit is about the reverse. Because, you know, like, the people that we're calling white, they actually were slaves, you know, but you're not being taught that in the history textbook. In the history textbook, you just say, oh, well, black people were slaves. And who you think were slaves before that? You know, because the shit is a revolution. You know, like, you know, black people had slaves, white people had slaves. But when you look at the word black and it goes, pale without color. Okay, so now you know what the word means. So now we got all these fucking people, white people that we're calling white, you know, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. Maybe they're realizing like, yo, you know y'all ain't white legally. Y'all not free white persons. Y'all the black people. Y'all the mutated offspring that people are now awakening because there's so much history out there. They're like, hold up. The real Israelites, the real Hebrew Israelites are us. A place without a home. Because we go every fucking where. We set up shop. That's what we do. If you go back and trace the bones all the way back to history, you always find one of us. It's not a coincidence. Because we created civilization. So now that the awakening is taking place, you know, history tends to repeat itself. Maybe these people that we're calling white out there is like Black Lives Matter. They cheering. They out there protesting for their shit because they know they're about to be on the bottom in the gutter, and everything else is about to rise up again. Because there's two fights going on. You got wealthy versus the poor, and then you got this nationality shit. You got that, people that recognize that, and then you got the legalities of it all. Policy changes. So when you make a policy change that now, you know, you call yourself white, I call myself black, that shit don't matter. It's a straight policy that says if this happens during this, then that will happen. So if a police officer brutalizes a citizen, then this is the repercussions for that brutality. Or if it goes even deeper and you say, hey, the people that we're calling police officers, technically they're police officers for the corporation. They're supposed to work for us because we pay taxes, right? We the ones that put out money, tax dollars, to pay a salary so you could protect the corporation. Okay? And we are the citizens willingly, because we have businesses, the corporations pay the officers to protect the property. Now, property meaning the building. Now, those are buildings, but there's also chattel property, animals and shit. Now, if you're claiming something, black, illegally, you are not a person because you don't have a nationality. So when you start throwing in all of that shit together, and now you got, I look in the protests. It's a bunch of people that we call white. They up in them protests. They saying Black Lives Matter. You know what they're realizing? They the black people. They black. Everybody is the same if you don't change policy. If we keep it how it is, the poor are going to stay poor. It's capitalism. So you're going to have wealthy, you're going to have poor. So once you nix out the middle class, the people who thought that they had privilege, they see none of that shit matters. None of that shit matters. Like, they treating you like shit. The only difference is because who has the most power? I'm talking about not legally but morally is Caucasian women. They will not be brutalized by these officers. I don't give a fuck who you are. And if one does get brutalized or killed, trust and believe, that officer is going down. You're not killing one of them and not go down. That's just facts. That's just the way that it is. You could kill everybody else, Caucasian woman or Flemings. And it's just been that way. And it takes, all right, it takes us, we're more on the scholarly end. We're scholarly, we do history. We also know criminal justice. So we know how that should go. We study law as well without becoming lawyers. And you need to be a juris doctorate. That's what you really need to be. I don't need to be a lawyer. Juris doctorate is just fine. I'll write up some stuff. I'll know the law. I don't need to step into a courtroom, but I can make a lawyer that will. That's where we need to be. Without policy, it's a wrap. You'll just have people walking around. I just noticed it, that there are a lot of, you think those Caucasian people are protesting for you to say that your life matters? You know who those people are? Those are the businesses that are not open right now that need your money to feed their family. That's who that is. Black Lives Matter. Come in my store. Yeah, they hopping out of Benzes and shit. They ready for you to spend your money if you smart. And then they gave you a bullshit stimulus check. I call it bullshit because they gave you $1,200, but now it's 10 weeks later. I don't know anybody that could live off $100 a week budget and try to, keep their mortgage alive or feed their family. $100 a week. I'm frugal. But $100 a week, and you trying to maintain, all of this shit, that ain't shit. If they would have been giving out the recurring $1,200, then it could have stimulated the economy because people would have had money or would have saved money, started investing, doing different things. You can't give somebody $1,200 and then
they arguing,
10 weeks.
I
know. They're arguing right now over that.
About giving you another $1,200. So that goes to that shows
and not
you
recurring.
How much that goes to show you how much these people that you have put in office don't give a fuck about you.
They don't give a fuck about you.
So meanwhile, when shit was about to crash, you had senators selling off stock because they had inside information, and nothing is happening to them. People are
they resign. They resign from positions. All that shit.
Like this is what's going on right in your face. So whether you black, white, Asian, Spanish, whatever, they don't give a fuck about you. If you're not a business who's an asset to them, They don't give a fuck.
There you go.
You property. You property too. Yeah, you can stand out there screaming Black Lives Matter. Yeah, that's cool. But that shit was that shit is a slogan that was a hashtag that turned into something that was funded by rich white people.
It was funded by George Soros. No, we could put his name out there.
There you go.
That's who funded Black Lives Matter.
Yeah,
it was founded by 3 black women, but it was funded by George Soros.
So, and you have to look at that and say on a level and say, like we said before, everything, whether it's the NAACP, all that shit, that's all funded. It's, anything that black people fund or do themselves, they start watching you.
Yep.
Panthers.
Where they get the money from? Yeah,
wherever it is.
Wherever it is. That's right.
Whatever it is, if it's black and they doing it, they watching you. I don't give a fuck what you do. I don't care who you are. You understand? Like you can sit around there, sitting there. You could be Oprah Winfrey. They watch her too.
Well, they already got her.
But I'm saying to you, but they watch her, and in case she thinks she having an awakening moment or some shit.
Can't backslide at this point. Yep.
Yeah, if she feel like she got an awakening moment and she want to go do something crazy for her people, not gonna happen.
Nope.
No, you just go on TV and keep them calm. That's why we got you around. You understand?
The example of one out of 400 out of 50 million. It's 50 million of us. You put her up there. You know what I mean?
But I'm saying, they put the people who they want in positions that they can control.
Absolutely.
And that they feel that they can control the masses with the shit they do. That's what they do. Like, that's just facts. That's like what they do. Anybody you see in a position that you think has any type of power, they answering to somebody.
Right.
They ain't gonna just do something. They can't just come out and be like, yeah. I mean, come on. You got a couple of athletes putting up schools and shit like that. Jalen Roses. Yeah. I think Primetime tried one. I don't think it's up anymore. I'm not sure. But I know he did try to have. He had a school going for a minute, and as soon as he started getting the top athletes coming there, white schools started complaining.
Right.
About what's going on in his building, and I think that caused him to close. I think he may have closed it down or whatever. But this is what happens. This is what happens, man. I mean, like, this shit is crazy. Like, anything black people do on their own and making a success, here come the feds looking at you, all these people looking at you for taxes, IRS, COU, money laundering for drugs. Immediately, that's what kind of, how did this nigga get this?
Yeah.
How did this nigga get that?
Who is giving the money?
Who's giving the money? You know what I'm saying? Let's follow the money. That's what they do.
Now, if you follow the money both ways, you'll find some shit. Okay, so...
Son, you can be a straight athlete. Just getting athlete money. They following your money.
Yeah.
Like, your money is just athlete money. But they following what you doing because you trying to uplift your own. They tell you, this is what they preach. Pull up your bootstraps and do it. You do it on your own shit.
Yep.
Then when black people start doing that, they got a problem with that. They got to come in and start infiltrating our shit. Just like hip-hop. They infiltrated the shit. This was the language of our people. This was the language we speak. The slang we talk on the streets that they never understood. They didn't understand that shit. But here you go, motherfuckers, we let them in our shit. They in our shit. Then you got motherfuckers writing books decoding shit for them, telling them what we mean when we say this and what this mean and shit like that. You giving away our shit. They ain't telling you they shit.
Word up.
They ain't spreading they shit with the rest of the world. Like, they may give you, for being a good nigga, a good stock tip that could get you some millions, but you ain't spreading that shit with the rest of your people in the hood. Like, yo, y'all get up about $100, $200, $300, $400. Yo, go buy this stock. Shit gonna flip and turn into a couple of mills.
Right.
You know? They ain't doing that. They keeping the black birds are keeping it to themselves and leaving their people. So that's who the people they want. The people that's going to turn their back easily because they want the money. They're going to sell their soul for the bread. Like, yo, I need that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look at it, like you just said, everybody's apologizing. All of a sudden, the NFL is apologizing. How the fuck are you going to apologize when you blackball the man out the league? Yo, that shit is hollow. Your apology is fucking hollow.
Absolutely.
Like, that shit means nothing. Unless you're giving him back a fucking job and you're going to make a public apology and you're going to start putting get a couple of black owners, put more black people in management, then we could probably listen to that shit. But until then, that shit is bullshit. All that shit is bullshit. Mm-hmm. So at this point, all these motherfuckers Drew Brees. No, nigga, you said what you said. That's how you feel.
And that's okay.
And that's okay. I'd rather know my enemy than not know my fucking enemy. You understand? I'd rather know that's how you feel than I don't gotta fuck with you. And we can keep it all the way 100. It's just business once we get in the locker room. It's just business. I don't fuck with you. Ain't no.
Understand this though. You know? I'm gonna miss a couple of blocks. You're gonna get on your ass a couple of times. Okay?
Man, you know what
I'm your lineman. I'm gonna miss a couple of blocks.
Son, I'm just telling you. All the apology shit, that's all bullshit. All these motherfuckers out here, these white people apologizing and fuck those apologies. None of that shit mean nothing. We need
change policy, and then we could talk. Like, there's nothing. I don't need your apology.
You need, you know what I mean? All those amendments, 13, whatever, 14, all them amendments. That shit's needed. You want to have a talk with us? Those are our demands. Those shits. Take all the book. We need to not be considered in your Constitution considered 3/5 of a human being.
Man, just get rid of that shit altogether. Like really change it. Yeah, like
we're not 3/5 of any shit. We're not 3/5 of shit. We're full man. We full human.
Go do that. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And then they got these fucking bullshit clauses that's in there. Like they have to vote on our right to vote.
Vote. So that's what I'm saying. Like every 25 years, they talking about they gotta vote for your right to vote. They gotta vote for they gotta reinstate the Civil Rights Act. They gotta for the voting right. What? And this is what you motherfuckers is running to.
Right. This is the conversation that needs to be had globally. Because ironically, because we've read so many books, it's like what is happening, what's coming down the pike is one world government. Everybody's ran under one master plan. Like, the nationality ain't gonna matter no more. Y'all all this. Y'all what we say y'all are, and you spend your money here. You don't. You go over here. You if you got fucking diseases, you quarantine over there. Special ed motherfuckers go over there. It don't matter whether you white, black, or whatever you want to call yourself. None of that shit matters if it's a one world government. We're going to have one coin. It's going to be backed by something. You know what I mean? Because right now we on fiat. You know what I mean? And then there's other countries that have actual resources, and they sitting back and they laughing. Like, y'all fighting over paper.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all not even a country. Like, that's a corporation that was built off the backs of the people that you tried to enslave. But in reality, and according to what is written in the history books, when in reality, it was the other way around. We the ones that navigated the boats because we was the travelers. We took y'all out of the mountains. Y'all came out of the mountains. Y'all didn't know how to bathe, clean, none of that shit. We cleaned you up, show you how to move around the world, and this is how you fucking try to repay us? 500-600 years, you just going around the world killing motherfuckers. And now, everybody's waking up again. Like, you know what? Hold up. Y'all was the cargo. Who the fuck do you think you talking to? Yeah, you're right. You know what? Maybe you should say Black Lives Matter, motherfucker, before I flip out on you. But then on top of that, you need the law. Once we start holding the corporation accountable, then we can get somewhere. But you got to play the game. If you're going to play the game, it's a 4-part game. You got to do the protest to bring awareness, to get the people rallied up. You know, but you also got to do the economic part. You got to bankrupt the system by pulling out your money. Then you got to do the policy. You know, get the policies changed, law. Then you vote locally, you know, for your congressmen and your senators to keep that shit in place. It's solid. And then, and most of all, I guess this could be part number 5. But most of all, go back in that bullshit-ass Constitution and amend that shit and make people people. You know, black people are not fucking 3/5 of anything. You know, and it's fucked up. They do that on jobs as well. You know, you got the three. It's a three. They don't call it 3-strike rule. It's something. It's a 3-step policy. Like if you got a female, you got a black, a minority, and it's a 2/3 rule or something like that. A black female holds 2 slots immediately. You know what I mean? Like that's how they do that. But that whole 3/5 compromise and like, yo, how did they flip the game like that? And now here we are, 400 or 500 years later. Like Reconstruction was a motherfucker. After the Civil War and all that shit, yeah, they think Lincoln freed the slave. You know, like there's a lot of people that really think that. Like that's not what it was about. It was not about slavery. But then hold up, the flip side is, fucking Abraham Lincoln was not Caucasian. You know, so you know, Abe was just passing. They killed him because they found out that he was not Caucasian. Yeah, well, you ain't gonna learn that in history.
Well, when he started talking that money shit.
He was talking money. Anytime you mess with the money, they gonna kill you.
They do the same shit. You start talking that money shit. You start talking about that shit. They gotta go.
They coming for you. You better build up your team if you're gonna try to affect the money globally, because they all tied together. All of these nations, excuse me, the continents. You know, globally, we all affect each other. So yes, there's rioting and protesting in America. There's people all over the world watching this shit like, oh, they finally joining us. People been protesting all over the world. It's been Americans, you know, in America where they just kind of chilling like, oh, okay, we good. But you know what? You killed one too many people. You know what I mean? Like, so what? If that was the spark, then that's the spark. But it can't end there. That's just one piece. Now get up in this law. Get up in this law and change shit. If you don't do that, and you got to pull that money out. Pull out the economic part. But you know what? You
got to do both. You got to
do both. This is what I'm saying. You got to do it.
Take that. You got to strangle them economically.
That's the first part. You got to strangle them economically, because if you don't, ain't nothing gonna change. The funny part is
money move these motherfuckers.
Money move the world,
because everything's a business for them. So it's all about the money. So money, if you strangle, I mean, look, when you look at it, and you, I mean, I seen an article where you seen the heads of corporations like pleading, like, yo, like, fuck it, we may have to stop our association with police because if that's going to affect our money, we don't want that. You know what I'm saying? Like, bottom line, they're like, yo, we're going to have to start giving to y'all police charities and shit like that, because motherfuckers is on Twitter and all over pulling up, yeah, this company has this and this, they do it so with this police, and they're going to start pulling, and people is going to start pulling money and start fucking, they know it's a wrap for them. It's a wrap. You know, so I mean, it is. I mean, that's what they respect, is that bottom line, that money.
Yep.
They, you know, if you start telling companies, we ain't doing business with you no more. Oh, we not even fucking with you. We ain't coming there no more. We ain't eating there. We ain't doing nothing. You want a full boycott?
Yep.
And see what happens. that shit will be out of business. You're talking to a $2 trillion spending
consumer
culture, a culture, or you know
it's
what
a
I mean?
culture. As a culture, we spend it.
We spend money. You know what I'm saying? We spend that bread, and if you, and it's time for black people to realize if they're not going to respect you, don't spend your money there. That's the bottom line. I don't give a fuck if they make nice shit. If they don't respect you, don't buy their shit. That's it. Like, you can't. That's how you grab their attention. And that's when and if they don't buck then you start strangling them economically. And until you suck the fucking life out of them. And then they go bankrupt. And then they will start respecting your shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, if same thing with police. If you're going to be out there killing us and all that shit, I mean, bro, I just seen a motherfucker putting his hands up in California and got killed. They said he had a hammer in his back pocket. Motherfucker shot him through the windshield, son.
Right.
Like, you ain't even get out the car. You shot him through the windshield after he went on the ground with his hands up. And you seen something in the back of him, and you still shot him.
Right, with his hands
through
up.
the windshield. Come on, son.
Damn.
You see what I'm saying?
Well,
so how these people, if you're saying, well, we pay, our taxes pay for your shit, then it's time for you, when you putting in these mayors, listen, you want our vote? We going to need you to make sure everything is open book when it comes to these police stations. See, these police and all that shit, they union everything. We want to know all these cops that has numerous such and such, and they need to be let go.
That's right.
At this point, you got a bunch of crazy motherfuckers running around as police.
Absolutely.
Like if you're gonna say, if your excuse every time you kill a motherfucker, I was scared for my life, then what the fuck are you doing on this job? Because this job is scary.
I know plenty of cops that they ain't kill nobody. And they've been on the job. So that's a bullshit narrative that they make them run with.
But once again,
you know what I'm saying? But it's
we come back to the same shit again, just like we was talking earlier with the teachers, with the white teachers. There goes a white boy, he needs a job. They recruit them heavily. They recruit to bring white boys in from all over. Let's bring them up from upstate New York to come work in New York City. He been working down there on the farm. He don't know shit about working with no motherfucking in the inner city with a bunch of blacks and Hispanics. And they throw you right into the hood, in the middle of projects and all that shit to go work. And how do they train you? They tell you that these people are fucking animals. They kill their own. Fuck them. That's the shit that they tell them in training.
Yeah.
So what the fuck you think he's going to do when he get out on the street? Of course he's scared. You done scared the shit out of him before he left the station. So when he get out in the street, he going to shoot immediately. Don't worry. I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. Right?
Yep.
So that's what the fuck he rolling with. So that's why he has no problem shooting. Don't worry about it. We behind you. Well, look what happened in Buffalo. It wasn't even a black man. They pushed the old white man down, 75 years old, and cracked his head to the white meat.
Yep.
And just because they were, I don't even know, I think they were suspended. 57 of them in that union resigned.
Yeah.
So what does that tell you? They believe they're truly above the law. Because you suspended them. Out here in Georgia, the 2 little kids coming from, they were in a car, Cleveland protest, going back to the AUC, wherever center, going back, a Morehouse, and he was with his girl. She was from Spelman. They run up on their car, they bust out the tires, break the glass, pull them out of the car, tasing them while they're in the car. These are kids.
Right.
These are not nobody flashing guns and killing you. And none of that. You throwing them out. Then the 2 black officers, one officer tells the kid, your mother never grabbed you up. Maybe she did, but motherfucker, you ain't my mother.
Word.
So they get fired immediately, right? They get fired because, the mayor out here, she got to put a show on. So she fired them immediately. Not saying they didn't. They deserve to be fired, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
They deserve to be fired. So now other police departments that were helping in Atlanta tells the police chief, we can't come and help you no more because we don't want our officers to be on the news or get in trouble and getting press charges against them for going out there taking orders. See, that's the thing that's fucking with me. Same thing with the 75-year-old white man. Their excuse and their union chief is saying they were just taking orders to clear the street. No, motherfucker. There's a difference. You could take orders. You didn't have to push that old man down to the ground the way he cracked his fucking head. He could have easily died. He's 75 years old.
That was fucked up, yeah.
And then when the dude went to go look and see if he was right, the other dude told him, get away from him. Wait.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
No
like,
humanity.
So just because you was given an order, so if you're given an order to go jump over the fucking bridge, you going to do it? Right. No, everything has to be done with common sense, and shit got to be done with discretion. Like, listen, all right, sir, we cleaning out the area, and we gonna need you to move back this way. You understand me? All right, so we don't want nothing to happen to you. There's a curfew going on. We're gonna need you to go back this way to your car, go home. We're clearing him. Not run up to him and push him on the fucking ground.
Word.
And then think that you shouldn't get in no trouble. Like, what the fuck is you thinking? Like, you just cracked this motherfucker's head. Come on, son.
You know what? Like, thinking about all of that, and that was a fucked up situation. There's no denying that. When I thought about the image of when I saw all of these officers like kneeling, you know what came to my mind? They weren't kneeling in solidarity with us. They was showing in plain sight, we don't give a fuck. We actually are backing our officers who kneel on your motherfucking neck. That's how I felt when I see that visual. You know what I'm saying? They're not kneeling in solidarity with us. That's not what they was here for. That's not what a police officer. The original police officers was from the slave plantation.
Yeah.
So if you look back at the corporate structure of police, where it came from that. So when I look at, hold up, now it's all this apologies going on. I'm not falling for the okie doke and all that. So now I see all these cops kneeling and shit. The pictures. You think that's a solidarity stance? I don't
even pay no attention to that shit.
That's what I'm saying. Like, to me,
I look at that shit.
I look at the shit cynical. I'm looking at it as, nah,
I took that shit
y'all in solidarity with the mother. Yeah, it was bullshit. Y'all in solidarity with the motherfuckers who commit the brutality. Like, yeah, all right, let's show a show of support. We gonna kneel, because that's what y'all do. Y'all got your knee and people's. I'm not talking about individual. I'm talking about systemically. You got your knee on people's neck.
But I mean, you look at it. I mean, you always hear this, with you lumping all officers in. There's good officers and I'm like,
absolutely.
Where the good officers at? Because they damn sure ain't standing up and being heard. They damn sure ain't taking step and standing out. And when they do, look what happened. I seen there was a white officer who stood up and said, "This ain't what we trying to do," and they fired his ass.
Yep. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you this. The four. Speaking on the George Floyd situation, you got 4 officers there. Okay. Now this is 100% authentic. You're not gonna do that in front of me. I'm gonna fuck you up. That's anything on life. Like, we're 4 officers. You're not doing all of that to this person. I don't give a fuck. Like, there's repercussions. We know that. They don't have no excuse.
No, yes they do. You heard what they said?
Oh, I'm following orders?
Exactly. The main one who was on his neck, they said he was because I think 2 of them was two of them just started. One was the black dude, and the other one was the white dude. They just started in the field. And he was like, he was the lead officer out there in the field training them.
Okay.
So everything is about, so they're putting all the blame on him. Like he
Let's
told
put
him
it to you.
do
Okay.
He
told him what to do.
So that so that thing is that so far what I've seen, pushing this white man on the ground, cracking his head, killing George Floyd, putting your knee on his neck and then telling the other dude, put your knee on his put pressure on his knee. He got fucked up knees, and put your knee on his back. They're following orders.
Then you're a fucking idiot.
Like, so
you're a fucking idiot.
Again, and then the other motherfucker, he's just standing up there walking around.
That's why they should be charged, because you're not using fucking common sense. You're fucking inhumane, and you should be fired. And I hope you get punished to the maximum extent of the law, because you're a fucking idiot. When you have somebody detained, first of all, he was already handcuffed. Okay, so we already see that if you're being excessive. So fuck your order. I wouldn't do shit. Like, yo, what the fuck are y'all doing? He's already in handcuffs. I don't give a fuck about an order. Yo, I should put in it. Fuck you. We fighting.
So that's they're going on that model, or we were just following orders. That don't fly, bruh.
You don't, not no more.
You gotta use common. Every situation is different, and everything you know what I'm saying. You have to use discretion in every situation. You have to be able to judge a situation and see if force is needed, or just a calm and being cool and saying and just talking to a person and saying, hey, this isn't. We're pushing back the crowd this way. We're leaving. I see you're an older man. Let's go ahead. We're gonna be moving this way. Let's walk this way, sir. Simple as that.
Leadership. All it took was a leader. You needed a leadership.
Not to push this man on the floor. He looked in the video. You could tell he was frail.
He was shocked too.
But I'm saying he was already a frail man. He's 75 years old.
No doubt.
You pushed him on the ground, fam. Come on, fam. But that goes to show you this is a white man. And then George Floyd is a black man. So police, in their eyes, they don't give a fuck either one way or the other. They whatever the order says to do, that's what they gonna do. So if when they leave the station, if the order is kill every nigga on the street, that's what they gonna do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If that's what you told, what? When the scanner got bugged, when somebody obviously tapped into the police scanner in New York on the police station at Dean Street. And somebody like,
77 precinct.
And somebody's on there, and they like, it's traffic coming up Dean Street. One motherfucker run them over. Next motherfucker shoot all of them. Don't say that on the airwave.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Don't say that on the airwave. Just tell us that in person.
Yeah.
Like,
it's okay.
The whole shit.
You can run them over. Yeah.
That's that whole shit, or just kill them all. Like, this is the shit. These are the people you have to protect and serve you. These are the people that when you call, you putting your life in the hands of. Come on, son. Nah. These people are killing you. These people are out to kill you. These people are out to kill you. I mean, you talking? We from the crack era.
Yeah.
Police run up on you on the streets in New York, and then when we were out there coming up, guns drawn out with the drugs, with the guns, patting you down.
Word.
Like
or
when I tell,
attempt to pat you down. Word. No doubt.
When I tell people that shit, they look at me like, "Damn, that's how y'all grew up."
Yeah.
I'm like, so none of this shit is new to us. Like literally, you know what I'm saying? Walking down, coming down Utica Avenue, D's pulling me, running up on me with the guns, with the drugs at, with the guns and the drugs. No guns, no drugs, coming from school.
Right.
Check your pride.
Badge
get the
number,
fuck out
sir.
of here. Get the fuck out of here. Go home.
Right. Excuse me. Badge number, sir. Can I get your badge number, your name? Write that shit down. Your ass. Put your ass in the fire. Yo, I go to John J. Yo, you need a warrant, sir. Fourth Amendment, or you one of them? Yes, I know the law. All right, get the fuck out of here then. You know what I mean? Like this is the type of shit that we had to go through.
I mean, this shit been going on forever. This shit ain't that just started. It's just that people got cameras now and they can tape the shit and see the shit.
Right.
So that's the difference. Other than that, this shit been going on forever. This is what they've been doing. So they don't know no other way. So when you start talking about, because you gotta look. You you hiring police officers, they got to take, you do physical, you do a psychological. How are half of these motherfuckers passing a psychological test?
They made it very easy now. You know, they ask you the same question.
Yeah, because they need bodies. They need fucking bodies out there, son. They need the bodies. So these motherfuckers is not even, you know, the psychological test, and some places they make you take a lie detector test.
Right.
How are these dudes passing that shit?
I don't know.
How are they passing these shit? Because you don't. First of all, when you ask them how you feel about minorities, their answer can no way to be truthful. Some of them have never had an encounter with them until they became police. So how are you going to put this person that never had an encounter? He's from somewhere like Connecticut, want to be a New York police officer. You come into New York City, you never even been around black people. Like, your encounters with black people may have been like 1 or 2 in your school.
Right.
So here you go now, wanting to be a police officer in one of the most probably dangerous cities, New York, whatever, Baltimore, wherever they at.
Sure indeed.
And you putting them in there, and these dudes have known, just like these white teachers, they've never experienced this shit. They don't know none of this. They don't know your culture. They don't know none of this shit.
Mm-hmm.
So once again, just as much as they ought to be at fault, so is the system that is putting these motherfuckers in classrooms and on the streets. Because all they doing is killing us. Educationally and physically. They killing us.
And mentally every day when you watch TV.
They killing you everywhere around.
They killing you. Yeah, true.
Like if you're still representing Columbus Day, that's just a disrespect to the people. Like, you insulting our intelligence with that.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that's part of the policy. We need to start, like, you know what? I know it would take a whole lot of work to start snatching down names of streets, but you know, you got motherfucking straight up racist, rapist, slave owners who got names on the streets that we drive up and down every day. You got Holiday named after Columbus. He ain't even find shit. You made that a holiday. You gonna
find some shit people was on.
Right. You know what I mean? Like, so shit like that. Like, we gotta go and dig deep and be like, yo, if you're gonna correct shit, then correct it. Other than that, we just spinning our wheels, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how you gonna have you still celebrate Columbus Day? You still talking every October? You talking about Christopher Columbus Day sale? Really?
I'm still waiting for the people who could show me in the Bible where it said Christ was born on December 25th. Yeah, for us to be celebrating Christmas. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, there's a lot of holiday. You know, even Thanksgiving, for what it's worth. You know what I mean? That's a day of slaughter. You know what I mean? So it's like there's a lot of shit that has to be done, because they fucked us over with when the power switched and they flipped the history and they made them in control. Like, they changed every motherfucking thing. They would have you thinking that they was always on top, and that's not how it is. So as you hear the Caucasian people shouting Black Lives Matter, they finding out that, yo, shit is about to change. History repeats itself. Believe that. You know, don't fuck. And then the video you sent me on the symbolism is exactly what we're talking about. Symbolism don't matter without the work. Fuck your symbols. Change some policies. All that shit is, yeah. They rioted. Okay, we noticed. Okay, now what? Oh, you're going to get some laws changed? Okay, cool. Let's do it. If no laws get changed, then we lost a lot of lives for nothing.
Exactly.
You know, and even in that Constitution shit, yo, go up in that document and make me a human being, a whole man. And finally, I don't need your motherfucking apology.
Yeah,
I don't need that shit. I just need you to do the right thing. And if you ain't gonna do it, then we gotta do it. Then we gotta get somebody up in there who's going to make that the real fight. You know, before reparations, okay? Before you send me money that don't mean shit, okay? Unless you sending me gold bars, okay, or silver or platinum, something that, you know, I mean, bars that actually are worth money. Go up in these documents and change them shits. Or have somebody that's up there who's going to work on our behalf to change them while we're still alive, so our children, as they grow up and become adults, and they can look through the Constitution and say, yeah, they amended this. Okay, yeah, we have full voting rights. They don't have to do this. They don't have to do that. Like, come on, man. We've been doing this shit for fucking 450 years, man. Come on. Like, enough is enough.
Yeah, it truly is. Like, I mean, it's just enough, man. I mean, black people, stop talking about you woke because you reading shit on social media. That shit ain't, you're not woke. Go pick up a book, read something.
Go read the Bill of Rights. Go read the Bill. Let's go read the Bill of Rights real quick. You know, and yeah, like even just that, like, and even on that, even with that shit, understand that it was written by a group of people that got sanctioned to actually be on this land by somebody else.
Somebody else.
You know what I mean? Like, they had to get permission to even come here. The Constitution was the document that that was approved for them to follow. So who do you think they answered to? They answered to people, the founding fathers. They didn't just roll up here and just start gunning down everybody. It didn't work like that.
Don't believe that cowboy shit.
Don't believe that cowboy and Indian bullshit, okay? Like, they were authorized to be on this land to do what they did, and they wrote up the policy, and they just followed up on it all the time. So now that we know the game, it's a legal game. You gotta get up in the law book, and you gotta change some shit. You got to change that Constitution at the minimum. Then that's for federal people. You know, change it. Then on the local level, go up in you'd be surprised what's on the books. They got old ass laws. Even when Trump tried to invoke the 1607 shit for him to try to override the governors, they was like, yo, slow down, bro. Like, I run my state, you run your area. Your area is D.C. You can't tell me what to do in my state. But as the president,
every state is a fucking corporation.
Every state is a corporation. Every state, the governor of a state is the president of that state. Of that state. That's why Trump could not bring in the National Guard. The National Guard is a state thing for the governor. Okay, that's why the only thing he can do is run D.C. because that's a territory. Yep. D.C. don't even got voting rights.
It's a fucking district.
It's a district. They don't even have voting rights. The people that live in D.C., they don't have voting rights on the federal level. Okay, they're a territory. So we unpacked a lot of stuff tonight.
Yeah, man.
We definitely did. I mean, damn, but you gotta do it sometime. You gotta do it. You gotta unpack it. You gotta open the book.
It's so much shit going on.
We just open a table of contents. That's all we did. It's a table of contents. We'll start, and we'll have more educators on here. We'll have people that actually can utilize the common sense area of their brain to utilize more than 10% of their brain. And we got to have these conversations, because if we don't, we just going down a rabbit hole and we ain't coming back out. Everybody just be duped. We can't allow the duping. Like, we not doing it. I'm sorry. The two grumpy men ain't going nowhere. And there's a few podcasts that's out there that that's what they doing. They out there. We support them. We keeping it 100. Just like all right. We a little more edgy than most, but they feel us, and I support others. So
yeah, we definitely
we gonna pick up the following. You follow us at IG, The Real Two Grumpy Men. Hit us up, follow us, follow you back. It's that simple. We on all the major platforms. We got merch. We got historical merch. Nobody's doing that. Okay, I don't know why, but we doing it. So it is what it is. You know, wear it proudly. Understand that, you know, you can be approached when you wear certain things. Or people are going to stand back and be like, oh, okay, he wearing that. Okay, he know about that. I can't fuck with him. I'm not going to fuck with him. Teach the babies. And one thing about the babies, be careful out there when you have them out there in these protests. Shit get ugly real quick.
Why are you even bringing them to these protests?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It get ugly real quick. You see what's going on. They don't care about the people because they have orders. All right, clear the streets.
They only following orders. So if that mean killing your baby, that's what they gonna do because they were given an order.
Because they're out there. Whoever's out there is out there. So it is what it is. So just be careful, people. Like, it's one thing to be, you know, involved in a movement, but let's look beyond what is being shown to us right now. You know, if anything, we should have learned something about the media right now. The people that are looting mostly have been Caucasians. Something is going on right now in that world, because I'm not Caucasian, so I don't know. But something is going on in that world. They're out there for a reason, and it ain't because of George Floyd. Okay? Something is going on for them to be protesting and telling you to your face, "Oh yeah, Black Lives Matter."
I mean,
no, bro.
I think we know, but we're gonna get into that.
We definitely know, but you can't give it all away, in a couple of hours.
We'll give you our thoughts on that next week. We'll tell you. We'll dig into that more next week on really why. What's going on, you know what I mean? But
what the real shit is, that's true. But the two grumpy men, we'll be back next week. You know, just follow us, man. You know, we're gonna keep it coming. We're gonna keep it 100, and we're gonna be accountable. That's all we could do.
That's all we could do.
So the two grumpy men, we out of here.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Peace.